Hey, Shalom, first and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Makakwadash, double honors to the elder apostles at Great Millstone that taught us this truth, sanctation. Oh, yeah, I can push in this word day in and day out doing this quick lesson. It's from Dabu 7. The big one, earthquake fears erupt as San Andreas fault reaches highest stress level in 1,000 years. And that's the spirit. Because, you look up 1,000, it pretty much in the scriptures mean what? Completion, man, all right? As well as the number 7, all right? Like 100, 1,000, so forth. Those are like complete numbers, okay? I remember there was a video game called Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I believe it came out on PS3. It's been so long. But there was a game called San Andreas, and the San Andreas was based on what the West Coast, particularly California, right? And California, when I last checked, had the 4th largest economy in the world. So a major earthquake, that could hit any day now. That'll rupture the global economy because they have the 4th largest economy in the world. So it'll have a major ripple down effect, man. Because them Californians, they don't live like the rest of America, man. Just keep it a buck, man. They literally live in, high price, paradise life, palm trees, beaches, mountains. They're not living like the rest of you people, you peons here in America, man. Only thing close as far as like, palm trees and beaches is Miami, right? And Miami's a poverty case, right? A welfare case compared to California, okay? So, let me play this video.
According to researchers, the big one could happen at any time in California, and they're citing new information here that U.S. and Switzerland scientists are revealing in terms of the San Andreas fault line. They're saying that it has reached a stress level that it has not seen in 1,000 years. They say that it's been more than 160 years since this giant crack has released any energy, and that it's due. This is an 800-mile-long fault.
So this fault line is backed up, man. It needs to get a release. Kind of like a man, he ain't had sex in, a month. His rod is on rock. You know what I mean? So he's like, man, I need to let one off and shit, man. I ain't had no box in about a month or 2 or a year or however long, your drought is, okay? So it's long overdue, man. I'm like, hey, I've been asking the Lord pretty much every day how long we gotta endure this fucking bullshit, man. Shit pissing me off that we still, yet in our captivity pursuant to Baruch, man. All right.
Line that runs under most of California, passing by Los Angeles in the south, and then in the north you've got San Francisco that it goes by, and you've got a network that you can see on the screen with the Cajun Pass in the left center pick. This is an area of extreme importance right now. They're saying not only is it under a lot of stress and overdue, and they expect it to come ripping apart at any time, but the way that it comes ripping apart has to do with the Cajun Pass. This network down here, when it hits this spot, it can either stop it and lock it up and no longer go any further, is what they're saying, or it can continue to come unzipped all the way down to Southern California, causing massive problems. So the San Andreas, the Hayward Fault Line, Cajun Pass, you've got all this coming together in this region. And then when you go north of it, you've got the Cascadia, which is also overdue and will cause a massive disaster when it goes. And on top of that, the overdue New Madrid fault, and we've got major faults all across this country that are ready to blow. This one just so happens to be under massive stress, and they say could grow bigger depending on what's going on with Cajun Pass, and you just have to wait and see how it unfolds when it happens. Anyone out there have a plan? I just wanted to share this new information. Join me for the live streams going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.
So you're gonna have trouble coming from every side, man. All right. Here in America, man. All right. Because when Jacob Trouble fully pops off, right, which we're in a low phase of it, right? The initial beginning phase, the warm-up phase, pre-game phase, whatever you want to call it, right? The pre-climax phase, okay? Real soon, it's gonna just fully, like scripture says, the plagues are let loose. You know, who can stop it, roughly paraphrasing, man, all right? Who may turn them away, all right? And that's the time I can't wait for, man. It's like, man, how long we gotta endure this shit show, man? Because the shit show's about to begin, all right? The real shit show, man, all right? Somebody said they put nukes in the fault line so that they can create a catastrophe. I'll tell you this, man. These lesser luminaries here in America, they ain't got no bunkers in California. Best believe that. They ain't got no bunkers here on the East Coast, or let's say the Mid-Atlantic Northeast as well either. Because there's a fault line here on the East Coast too. There was an earthquake. They said there was an earthquake a few days ago. I remember there was I think it was probably like a 3-point-something earthquake in 2011. All right, I was a younger man then. I remember I was getting off of work. I worked a double shift. I got off of work, and you know, I was on my way to, I think, my dad's house, and you know, I was on the highway when it happened. So I'm thinking maybe it was a pothole I hit. You know, I felt like a little shake, thinking it was a pothole, something small, something minor, right? And then the car at the time, it was a V8, so you know, it had good shock absorbers, so I couldn't really feel it and say, yeah, that was an earthquake. But I remember getting home, getting alerts on my phone, and I think my dad was here at the time, and he told me, yeah, he saw like the, you know, because, you know, older people, they still have those, what are those things called, man, where you put all your dishes in, you know. It's not a chandelier, but, you know, it's like a damn storage. I can't think of the name of it, man. Because, you know, older people have this, right? But, you know, he said he saw that shake, man, all right? Because, you know, now everything's like pantry-based and so forth, you know. You get a new house that is destined to have a pantry. So there's no need for, I don't even know the name of these things no more. Salakia. All right. But I'm sure, you know, you brothers with older parents or grandparents, you know, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, you know, they could, the Lord may allow them to do a false flag earthquake, man. Because we know when, as soon as brothers get the power, as soon as, you know, the angels, you know, start making shit happen, you know, they're going to come with all these events, combined disasters like the Illuminati card, man. All right. Which California, you know, people that's from there, they'll tell you, look, man, there's earthquakes every day out here, you know. California, there's earthquakes every day, which California is the home of what? Pedophilia, as trafficking, you know, Hollywood, dark magic, you know. I believe they say the most Masons live in California, the most Masons on earth. Or in America for sure. The most Masons in America live in California, man. Which makes sense. That's why LeBron went to the Lakers, Kobe, Shaq. You know, your entertainers, Chris Brown, and so forth, Usher. All right. So, real soon we'll see, what the fuck happens next, man. Because I'm getting pissed off, man, just being in this place, seeing you people. I don't even want to, like, I'm a gym guy, right? I don't even want to go to the gym because I want to avoid these people that much, man. you know? Like, I've been in the spirit of, like, if I do go to a gym, I go to a smaller gym or work out. I don't want to go to a big gym around you demons, man. The spirit's been on me, like, man, fuck you people. This is Matthew 24. And when Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of these temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So it's not going to be one stone upon another, man, on these buildings, these skyscrapers, these stadiums, these ballparks, arenas, museums, whatever, mansions, whatever lavish and even unlavish buildings, right? Architecture you see here in America, man, it's all coming down, man, real soon, man. And it's gonna get burnt up, man, when thermonuclear missiles hit this place, man. All right. So I'm gonna jump down because it's a lot of meat for me. All right, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You see that going on now. I don't got to break that down. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Yeah, that's why we still here. The end isn't yet, but we're very close. We're knocking at the door, man, of the end, man. The end of what? The so-called white man's rulership is not going to be the end of, the whole earth per se, but the end of Esau's rulership, man. For nation shall rise up against nation. Yeah, you see this now going on digitally on the internet. Even in these large gatherings, you've seen Jake and Esau fighting more than ever. Racial tension at an all-time high. And kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. So it's about to be a famine on the shores of America real soon. I mean, they said July with the gas prices, but, this demon Trump, pussyfooted and signed some type of deal with Iran. We'll see how long this lasts because, the gutter rats are going to make, America make a move or vice versa. The elite's going to tell Iran to make a move on this place. Right. They just playing on the masses' emotions as usual. And earthquakes in diverse places. Yeah, you got these different timeline shifts, man. We was in a wartime timeline, now we're in a peace treaty timeline. And, this devil, he's just something else, man. But, we still in the World War III market of peace timeline. It's just, being pushed back once again. You get frustrated, but, what else can you expect from this devil, man, the so-called white man? And it says, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So we're in the beginning of sorrows, man. Earthquakes in diverse places, too. Oh, yeah, let me break that down. Some more pestilences. You're going to have disease warfare, whether it's Ebola or something new. We'll see. That's going to go viral. It could happen, during the time of or at the end of these World Cup games because this shit's supposed to go on for like another month. All right, earthquakes in diverse places. You're going to have the big one finally hit. All right. And, it ain't going to be pretty, man. All right. And then, like I said, there's a fault line also here on the East Coast as well, too. So I forget the name of the fault line here. But that's going to, cause shock waves, man. All right. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Yeah, so these is just the beginning, man, of tribulation, man. All right, these are just beginning. That's just the beginning. And we're not even scratching the surface what the Lord got in store. All right. Let me see. Cause I'm gonna jump down. There's a lot of meat here. This is verse. Let's say verse 19. And woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of babies perishing, man. You know, during this great earthquake, Jacob's trouble, so forth, man. A lot of babies, toddlers, these little badass autistic children here in America. You know, they're about to get fucked up. And young adults, you know, Gen Alpha, the Gen Zs, you know, they're gonna get it, man. You know, the wicked evil doers of them, that is, man. And it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be, man. Oh yeah, it says, but pray ye your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Shabbat day. Yes, so you know, the winter is, what we're in now, June 19th. So winter's about, approximately, like 5 months away. You know, if this place is still going, Lord willing, they ain't. But, you know, 5 months away, they talking about GTA 6, man. You know. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such, and, you know, it's, to me, it seems like, you know, when they start implementing the mark of the beast and making it mandatory so you can drive your car, you can have some money in your bank account, you know, so you can go to the store, buy groceries. All right. Seem like that's when, you know, all this destruction will take place, man. You know, that's the main catalyst. The famine of the word and mark of the beast prophecy are the main two catalysts. Really holding the winds back, man. So, you know, this devil's scared to take us off the internet, man. We're cutting them up every day through you know, like the scripture says, man. 24/7, man. Through the unicorn. You know, we cutting him up through the scripture. He's scared to take us off the internet, off the streets. So I don't know what it's going to take at this point, man. You know, you just pray the Yahweh Shem Yahushua for a miracle, man. We need a miracle at this point, man, because this devil keep pussyfooting, kicking the can down the road. You know, talking about opening up the strait. That's why gas prices been steadily, you know, declining, right? If I'm saying it right. So it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be, which there's a prophecy in Daniel, you know. I believe it's Daniel's the 4th or the 12th chapter. One of them that goes into this, right? And then even, I believe, what's it, Jeremiah 30:7, you know. Going into Jacob's trouble, you know. So it's going to be, oh yeah, definitely Daniel. It says it'll never be a time like this time we're entering into on earth, man, in earth history, man, you know. And there's been some dark, bloody, disease-ridden, famine-laden times on earth, man. You know, it's been some times like, you know, where death was a delicacy, man. And the times we're entering into is going to be like a billion times worse than that, man. All right. So, let me jump down. So, verse 37, but as the days, so, you know, oh yeah, I'll just start at 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man. So we don't know. That's why we constantly on our watchtower, man. We don't know the exact day. We don't know the exact hour. We don't know the exact second, man. The Lord's gonna crack the clouds. All right. Not even the Lord knows, man. Only the Most High Himself, right? The Supreme Most High Himself knows, man. All right. The Supreme Yahweh knows, man. All right. Don't nobody know. No Jakes in the spiritual realm. No, certain things the Most High keeps to Himself, and that's one of them, man. All right. Because guess what, man? If anyone know the angels knew, even Esau would try to seek it out, man. He tried to use the demons and stuff to seek it out. All right. So don't nobody know the day of the even. So that's why Esau doing all these drills. He's got National Guard. Just cooped up somewhere in an underground military base. They just cooped up. Playing Xbox, PlayStation and shit, just waiting. Playing cards, getting drunk, committing adultery. Committing orgies, sacrifice. They just waiting, man. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So just like the days of Noah, what does that mean, man? Oh, it goes into, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark. So what's going on right now? People being married, people have that reveling spirit. They celebrating World Cup. They just having a good time, getting drunk. Had this Jake yesterday. He's a cool Jake. I ain't gonna, go hard on him and shit, but Jake be in the world and shit, right? So did you watch the Northern Tribes Jake? He's an older Jake, I know. Did you watch the World Cup? I said, nah, I ain't seen no games yet. He said, oh, he's surprised. Like, I just said, you're not a big fan, no? I said, nah, I ain't a big fan, but I'm gonna watch it. I told him, but I'm gonna watch it this weekend, cause my ancestry country's playing, Haiti's playing. So I said, Haiti's playing Brazil. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna watch that game. So I'm like late. I'm like a week late. Because the shit started on the 11th, I want to say. June the 11th, June the 12th, the World Cup games. But yeah, I'm gonna watch that Haiti action, right? Because we already know it's bread and circus, it's rigged and so forth. But people getting married, people, they going to the games, meeting their wives and meeting their husbands, meeting their future baby mamas, baby daddies, and so forth, man. And it says, verse 39, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So the flood, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So yeah, man. So the just like the flood washed them away, these people about to get washed away with a flood of missiles, man. They about to get burnt to a crisp. Lord's gonna keep their soul in their body, while they standing, like in Terminator, Sarah Connor, man. That's a perfect depiction of how the missile's gonna be, man. And she still was alive while all of her skin and organs and follicles getting burnt up. She was still alive, man, and holding on to the fence. And that's how you niggas gonna be. You gonna be holding on to your smartphones or to your because you gonna have people, even when the mark of the beast hit, man, you still gonna have people like carrying around smartphones and shit and tablets and laptops, as I don't want to say a souvenir, but like the better word would be like a memorabilia or something, nostalgic, as nostalgia, So you be holding on to your phone and shit getting burnt up to a missile, man, if the Lord ain't with you. All right. All right. And it says, 2 women, then shall be 2 in the field, and one The one shall be taken. It's talking about the elect and the other left. Yeah, the other left behind, man. You know, for the thunder, man. Thermonuclear thunder. Bolts that's going to hit your ass from Russia, China, Iran, and its allies. And we could be entering into that phase because the scripture says the nation's going to be mad. So the nation's going to be mad, America, because, you know, they never keep their treaties. You know, every treaty America or peace deal America made, they done broke. So these nations going to be mad, you know. And it says, then shall be two in the field, and the one shall be taken, the other left. Two women grinding at the mill, one shall be taken, talking about the elect woman, elect lady, and the other left. Yeah, the 2/3 heathen lady is going to be left, man. It says, watch therefore. So that's why we doing these lessons. That's why we go out street speaking. For ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. So we don't know the day, the hour. You know. And we just, scripture says, blessed is he when the Lord come. He shall find so doing, man. You know. So doing what? Doing this work, doing these lessons, going out street speaking, man. Constantly fasting and praying, man. All right, staying in the spirit life, staying locked in, man. All right, because these people, they all caught up in their worldly aspirations, being the next NBA, NFL, entertainment, streamer, so forth, man. OnlyFans star. That's what our people into, man. You know. And then when you get there, you're like, man, this shit ain't as cracked up as what it's made out to be, man. You know. Even when it's bullshit's perks, right? Because it's the foundation of all that shit is wickedness, man. You know. So I think I done hit the hammer on the head, man. Hey, man, just stay circumspect, man. And for the brothers, there's a lot of brothers in Cali. Guess what? The Lord's going to be with y'all, man, during the big one. All right? Let me put that out there. All right? For the sincere brothers, you know, Great Millstone and affiliate camps. All right? That follow the doctrine of our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, man. Hey, the Lord's going to be with y'all, man. So you ain't got nothing to worry about, all right? So I'm going to end it there. That could bring martial law too, man. This big earthquake, man.